Hi there, I hope you have a lovely day. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana. So today I have my budget or closeout for the month of April. If you don't know me, my name is Dana. I live in the Netherlands. I bought an apartment here, and due to that I'm in debt. I have also some bad spending habits that I want to overcome and overturn into good savings habits. That's why I started this channel. So without further ado, let's have a look. My let's say salary month usually starts at around the last week of the previous month, so meaning I received my salary on the 25th of April, and the cutoff date for in April was the 21st. So on the 24th I received my new salary, which I will use of course for payments in May. So but just to be more precise with you or transparent with you, I always include the last week in calendar form as well. So you can see I received my money, my pay here quite a lot, 4,693 euros and 72 cents. That was including a bonus. I did some shopping there. I paid internet, or internet came out. I did some sales, and so on. So my regular, let's say, payments or bills went out as usual. But of course, I had some, for me, unexpected savings slash unbudgeted savings, to be more precise, because I went the first 2 weeks actually, or I traveled out on the 30th of April of March to Turkey, and I spent 2 weeks there. So, and of course my normal payments, they went out from my bank account, but I did some credit card spending. I just mentioned them here. This is the regular credit card spending for the previous, not regular, but I mean the previous period payment that I had to pay. But for example, I went to the doctors in Turkey, and then I paid with my credit card. I also bought some other stuff with the credit card, let's say cigarettes for my sister's fiance, so, and I also did some other, let's say, spending which are on me. They are not holiday related, but they are on me, I think stress related, and so on. So yeah, it looks, let's say, like this. If I would keep my spending under control, I might be able to do every week, let's say, or I plan now to do savings challenges with a budget of 200 euros every month, every week, sorry. But yeah, I need to get a grip on it. So because I have some bigger plans as well. So let me show you what happened here more precisely then, or not more precisely, but this is not a perfect closeout. I have to admit that I have not mentioned everything in it, or I have not even, how can I say, did the comparison one to one, because I know I overspent in certain areas, but this is real life, so yeah. The mortgage, at least that one goes out, and I am below the mortgage, 1,000, the budgeted. Utilities include, these includes my electricity as well as my water bill, same standard amounts, no changes. Car tax is always the same, 23. This one is something like 46 euros. I wrote it down somewhere, but then I forgot. 46.67. So the travel insurance is the same. Let's say I always round up everything what is budgeted. I round up, and so on. Here, maybe one of the bigger, let's say, differences that you can see is for sure costs which went up. My homeowners association, or let's call it service fees for the apartment, they went up. The internet, of course, went up. My banking fees, they went up as well. The car insurance pay went up. So these are things that really went up. And I had, because I was on holiday, of course, some unexpected or unbudgeted spending. For example, I went to the museum, and that was 50 euros entry fee. I took out money from the ATM, 300, but I spent only 100 of it really in Turkey. The other I have still with me, and I spent it on my groceries. But I have to say, for example, I did here some shopping, from the Asian store. I ordered it online. I have to pick it up still from the post office. I also bought some diet sauces, like sugar-free caramel sauce, etc., etc. So things, I was running low. They are not part of my, let's say, regular grocery spending, because they maybe show up every 3 4 months. So but in that sense I went up as well. And I don't know how you do it, but I have some trouble always whenever I come back from holidays to really get into the, let's say, mode again to buy things, and I want to cook immediately. Because I have to tell you, when I came back last time from my bigger, longer holidays in February, sorry, I immediately got sick, and then I didn't go shopping at all. But then when I went out, my brain was like, okay, let's buy this, let's buy that. Of course, I overspent in some areas, but then I was also like, you know what? I don't know what I want to cook. Or maybe if I went to the office, I was like, okay, I didn't cook the day before on the weekend. And then I was like, okay, let me buy this, let me buy that. Of course, then it accumulates, the eat out money, for example, instead of, having groceries, bought groceries and cooked them and then take them with me. Um, what else? The cigarettes money, I will get that one back from my sister. I will put that into the May, what is it, May budget then, as a kind of, income. So, yeah, transportation, the homeowners association or service fees went up as well. So, yeah, overall, not a perfect budget, I have to say. It's, but, but now what I want, as I said to you, I want to actually, how to say, get a grip of it. And what I decided is, if I go on holiday, I always, how can I say, overspend, because holiday is, or vacation, let's call it precisely vacation. Um, I always under budget. Now, what do I mean with that? Because I have to think about it in the sense of course, if I think for myself, I need to buy the flight tickets. Have to have money for the accommodation. I need to have some money for transportation, and I usually go and also do some medical examinations. Let's say that's what I did last time in Thailand when I was there. I did it this time in Turkey, so I need to, how can I say, beef up my vacation, travel money in that sense. But I also, how can I say, um, yeah, have to beef up spending, but not spending. Sorry, not beef up spending. That's counterproductive. Saving in that sense that I'm more strict, because I have big plans. In terms of if the job loss comes around, that I'm prepared. What do I mean with job loss? My company, for quite some time, for several years now, we are going a downward spiral with sales and profits, etc., etc. And the response is usually globally we are doing some kind of cutting labor force, etc., so to save money. And this time around also, again, 130-ish people, 32 roles as they call it, will lose their jobs, not only here in the Netherlands but also in Germany and other countries as well. Globally, I don't know how high the number was for roles to be reduced. So, and I mean, I don't know if I can stay here. I mean, in terms of getting a new job or not have to move around to the next place, etc., etc. I'm still, of course, paying the mortgage and so on. So, in terms, for example, if I want to resettle somewhere else in another country, etc., etc., I want to be prepared for that. So, that's why I decided I'm going to, save for that purpose. But of course, also do some short-term savings. Let's say the running costs that I have here. Let's say the sewage fees that I have, every year. So I will have, 1,200 euros or something like that to be paid from March on. So I want to save up for those kind of things and then be done with it. Yeah, that's for sure. And of course, let's see. Do I have to mention something else? Yeah, you see here Aldi, eat out, some unnecessary spendings, boiler maintenance. Of course, that's something that I need to save up as well. I bought some dice, just to play more, to play the saving challenges, etc., etc., in a different way, and so on. Yeah, so you see, and I also transferred some money out of my savings account back into this general account. Why? Because I have already bills for my dentist treatment, for the Invisalign treatment. I paid, but that one goes into the next budget and so on. So not happy about my spending, but yeah, I need to focus on get back into a normal routine where I don't travel so much or don't travel for several months, and then just save up more money, let's say, or be more prepared when I go on trips. So the next bigger trip that I have planned is for next year. Again, I hope I can do a longer session if I don't how can I say, if I don't lose my job and so on. So anyway, enough rambling. That was my budget for April 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. I see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye bye.